Hello everybody, this is Sarahscopic and you're watching Traffic Musings. So if you guys can't tell, or maybe you can, this is a new car. This is my new car for the next 3 years or so until the lease is up. I'm not sure if I was clear about this when I first started Traffic Musings, but my old car was also a leased car. I've been pretty fortunate that my family will let me do leased cars for a little bit. Of course, some people, have mixed opinions about leased cars. Our family has always done them, but of course you have to be careful because you are technically losing money, I guess, especially if you buy the car at the end, which is always an option when you get a leased car. But buying with the way how the buy works, you are technically losing that money from the value of the car. And you also have to be careful because you are forced to basically make sure that you gave the car back in a similar condition as you had taken it. So any kind of bumps on it you need to fix because otherwise they will pay up the wazoo, which unfortunately happened. As you guys remember from other episodes, I had to borrow a car for a little bit because we had a major fix to do on it. And then, of course, the day before I had to turn my car in, I got into another stupid bump thing. It's dumb. And so unfortunately we had to pay up the wazoo anyway, so I don't want to talk about it. That was part of Sarah's week from hell, but we're not going to talk about that in this episode. So I have a new car now. It's still the same company. I had a Chevy Cruze in the last time, and this is also a Chevy Cruze, just an updated Chevy Cruze, and it's beautiful. You guys can't see the color at all. I might take a picture of it or something. Editor Chan, put like a picture of the car of how it looks. Yeah, that's the one. That's the blue color I have. Isn't it pretty? Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. I originally had a red car, but I always preferred blue. It's just I chose red because I liked that red. It wasn't a bright red, and they didn't have blue in the car a lot. So, but they had this blue, and I was like, I want this blue. So I got this blue car. Very happy with it. The reason I had chosen a Chevy Cruze last time was because, for whatever reason, it was the only car of its type of a sedan that didn't have the pedals far away from each other. You probably can't tell this because most of you are taller than I am, but if you go into a car, you'll notice that the brake pedal is more forward than the gas pedal. And for someone as short as I am, this is a big problem because basically you can't, with how far away it is, you have to be careful of how close you are, and then you have to basically choose between like having your legs scrunched up when you're hitting the brake pedal and not being able to reach the gas pedal comfortably. It was also the only car for its price at the time that had front electronic seating, and which is very necessary for me because even though other cars have accommodations for, you can adjust the seat and such, the problem is that there are no nuances in how you do it. And so very often, especially with the cars I test drove before I chose the Chevy Cruze, the notches would be placed in such a way that one notch would be basically dangerously close and the other notch would be too far away. I just spit, I'm so sorry. So that wasn't gonna help me. So I went with the Cruze again. The pedals are slightly farther away from each other this time, which is really irritating because the other car wasn't, and I'm like, why did you change? It's why I liked you. But it still has the electronic front seating, and including the recliner. Usually the recliner is still not electronic, it's just the seat that goes up and down and forward. But this is also electronic, so I am quite happy. So that's pretty exciting. This car also has like so many other really awesome features, and I'm so excited. It's got, a very digital panel here, which I'm not really used to because I'm used to, for example, like scrolling through the dial for the radio, but now it's got like a touch screen and I'm still not used to that. And I still don't know how to make the favorites, which is really irritating because I never figure out how to do the favorites on my other car, and I cannot figure on this car, and that's gonna really bug me because it's hard to just keep scrolling with the touch screen. First world problems. This car is also much more eco-friendly. I say that because there are two settings to the AC. There is Max and Eco. I try to put on Eco because I drive so much that I am probably causing my own hole in the ozone, so I'm trying to do what I can to help. Speaking of eco-friendly, it also has a weird function called the auto stop function. What that means is that if you are basically have the car on, but you're on a brake pedal for a while, it will actually like kind of turn off the engine, and you can tell because when you press the gas pedal again, it kind of, you feel something kind of jerk inside. I've also noticed, especially in eco mode, the AC starts to get lower too when that happens. It's fine, like I don't have anything wrong with it. The AC, whatever, getting lower is, excuse me, not a big deal. But it's still weird to me because every single time, and I can't tell when it happens because it just seems very, very random. So every time when I do stop, sometimes when I go, it's fine, and other times I just feel a little lurch. The brake pedal is also more quick on this car, which is fantastic because it's safer. It's also going to be terrible though, because if I ever drive anyone else's car, I'm going to crash because I'm going to be too used to being on the brake pedal so quickly. There's also some other really cool features, which I also want to mention. I have Wi-Fi in here. Yes, you heard me right. I have Wi-Fi in here. I have 24 gigabytes or 2 years worth of Wi-Fi, whichever gets run out first. So I have a feeling my car is going to be wanted for any kind of road trip. In fact, if there's any kind of road trip people want, let me know. Well, you're also going to have to keep me awake throughout the whole ride, so maybe you don't want to go on a road trip with me. But yeah, I have Wi-Fi, so I'm not going to probably be using it on a daily basis, because if you think about it, 24 gigs is basically equivalent to 2 gigs a month. So, you know, because it's 2 years. And anyone who's on a phone plan knows that's usually what you get. So, I'm not going to go through it that fast, trust me. It also, I don't know if you guys have seen these before, but it also has the thing where when you go in reverse, the touchscreen panel has like a better rear view that shows you where the car is gonna go, which is fantastic. I need this desperately because of how much I run into things. The problem is that it looks so much closer in the back than it does on the screen, and so I think I need to test it and be like, how close is this thing actually? Because I can't tell. So I'm gonna want to test that. But yeah, it's got that, which is just so necessary. It also has this neat feature, which I've never heard of before, but you guys can tell me if you've heard of it. And I haven't really tested it. I can kind of see it working, but I need to see if there's something I need to turn on. It apparently detects lanes, so that if you start going over a lane, it will actually kind of self-correct, kind of like a auto car. You know how we're kind of getting into the phase of like auto driving and such, kind of in the vein of that. So it just kind of corrects itself, unless you turn on a blinker, then it kind of turns it off. Obviously, if you switch, I'm pretty sure if you just like force it, like it's not gonna like force you back. I'm pretty sure if I wanted to, I'm not gonna do it because it's dangerous, but I'm pretty sure if I wanted to, I could go back and forth. I've kind of noticed it seems, or at the very least, it seems to be like more easily able to kind of keep center, so maybe that's what it is. If that's actually a real thing that it has, that's amazing, because as someone with a sleepiness issue, that is my biggest fear. Then it has unfortunately happened where I do start drifting off. Usually whenever I feel myself start to get sleepy, I always go on the far right or the far left lane because of this reason, and so at least that helped. And so I usually start to end up going to the end with the bumpers, which is good, but this will actually help me where I can actually keep straight and will not crash to people. So that's a good feature. That's all nice and dandy. I also found out that I have OnStar for 2 years, which my parents, after the 2 years is up, my parents paid for another year last time because it's a major safety issue. Basically, it's if you need any kind of emergent stuff, you can call them and they can kind of help you. They're not like a 24/7 vehicle emergency. They're very, very good. I really like them. They're always extremely helpful when I've called them. They're always very calm and it's very nice. I had to call them once because I drifted and got stuck in the snow one time, and I was an all-out panic attack, and so they were very good and pretty helpful for me. But one of the cool features I found out is they have a theft thing where you need to have the OnStar phone number, which is like 1-888 for OnStar or something, and you call them if your car has been stolen or you suspect your car has been stolen. In any case, your car is missing and you know where it is. So you call them and they have a GPS tracker so they can automatically track your car, which makes things a lot easier, of course, for the police and for you. But the other thing is that if they can tell that it's stolen, which is pretty easy to tell because probably someone's moving in the car, they can do a thing where it forces the car to go no more than 10 miles an hour, which is hilarious. So basically, your thief has your car and it can't, and all of a sudden it can't go beyond 10 miles an hour. Now, hopefully your car is not on the highway when that happens, because I can see it where that suddenly happens, and that could cause an accident if people are not watching. But I have no idea. I don't know what happens with that. That's I guess on them. But otherwise, if you catch it fast enough, they're probably just on the road. In which case, any kind of bump won't be as bad, and it's just very irritating. And it makes it easier for the police then to catch them because they can only go 10 miles an hour. I just thought that was hilarious. So that's a thing now. Oh, the wonders of technology. For people who are wondering why my family does lease cars, I know it's probably kind of weird for some people because it's like, wow, you get fancy cars, and I am very grateful. I do not take this for granted. Basically, my family decided that I would do this because the idea is hopefully that in the future, I would probably buy this car once it was done. So I'm not going to be on lease cars forever because I probably can't afford it. I'm just very fortunate to have a family that's willing to do this for me. It's also very much just a safety thing. I really could not use older cars safely because they don't have the same kind of seats that newer cars have, and they would not be able to accommodate me. I mean, I remember when I had to do driving school or whatever they call it, and they use the official driving school's cars, which are like cars from the 1990s, 1980s, and I remember they had to put a pillow down for me because the cars were not going to be safe enough. So hey guys, I don't know if it cut off or not. You may have noticed this thing kind of got shifted. My recording stopped because my phone got overheated, which I guess I shouldn't be surprised because I am facing where the sun is setting, so I'm going to have to figure out something else in case that keeps happening, because as summer approaches, it's going to only get worse. So I'm not sure what I was talking about, but yeah, lease cars, I'm very fortunate for that. So I'm just going to end the episode here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope something amazing happens to you. Without further ado,